Have you ever come across something in Scripture that just makes you pause? A real head-scratcher? Well, today we're tackling one of the big ones, a divine paradox that gets right to the heart of what it means for God to be all-knowing.
So let's just jump right in. This is the puzzle, isn't it? If God's knowledge is absolute, perfect, and complete, why would He ever need to test us to find something out? It feels like a genuine contradiction, but stick with me because the answer is actually incredible.
And here it is, right from the source. This verse uses that exact phrase, until we know. Now that's the kind of line that can really stop you in your tracks. It makes you lean in and ask, wait a minute, what does that really mean?
So what are we dealing with here? Is it a contradiction? On one hand, you have the core belief that God is omniscient. He knows everything. But on the other, you have verses like this that seem to say, hey, this test is going to happen so that God can gain some new knowledge. How on earth do we put those two ideas together?
Okay, first things first, let's get one thing straight. The bedrock principle of Islamic theology is that Allah's knowledge is absolute. It's not limited by time, there are no blind spots, and He never learns something for the first time. This is our starting point. It's the non-negotiable foundation for everything else.
And here, my friends, is the key that unlocks the whole mystery. Islamic scholars explain that when we talk about God's knowledge, we're actually talking about two different types of knowledge. Once you get this distinction, everything else just clicks right into place.
So here they are. On the one side, you have God's eternal knowledge. Think of this as the perfect, complete blueprint of everything that has ever happened or ever will happen. And on the other side, you have the knowledge of reality, which is God witnessing that blueprint unfold in real time. It's the difference between knowing what's written in the script and actually watching the movie.
Let's look a little closer at this first type. Eternal knowledge is, well, it's total. It covers the past, the present, and the future. And get this, it even covers things that won't happen. God knows what would have happened if you had turned left instead of right this morning. It's completely all-encompassing.
Now, the second type, knowledge of reality, is where things get really interesting. When you make a choice, when you perform an action, God witnesses it as it happens. And here is the absolute crucial point. It's this knowledge, the knowledge of what you actually did, that becomes the basis for reward and punishment.
Okay, I know that can feel a little abstract, so to make this super clear, we're going to use a really simple analogy. Think about a teacher giving a final exam. This is going to make it all make sense.
So picture this teacher. He's been with his students all year. He knows them inside and out. He knows Sarah studies every night and is going to ace this thing. And he knows Mike has been messing around all semester and is probably, almost certainly going to fail.
So here's the big question. The teacher's knowledge is pretty much perfect, right? He knows the outcome. So why doesn't he just hand out an A to Sarah and an F to Mike right now and save everyone the time and stress of an exam?
The answer is obvious, isn't it? Of course he can't. That would be totally unfair. If he just failed Mike, Mike would have every right to stand up and say, hey, you can't do that. I haven't even had a chance to prove myself on the test yet. You can't punish me for something I haven't actually done. And that is exactly why the test is necessary. It's not for the teacher to learn who the good student is. He already knows that. The test exists to create tangible proof. It turns potential into an actual reality on paper so that the final grade isn't just known, it's earned, and it's demonstrably fair. Now let's take that simple, powerful idea from the classroom and scale it up, way up. We're going from a school test right to the test of life itself, from the classroom to the entire cosmos. And to Allah belongs the highest example. The test of our life works on the same principle of justice. It's the arena where what God already knew about us, His eternal knowledge, gets turned into a real, tangible event through our choices. Our actions have to actually happen.
And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the matter. This is probably the most important thing to take away from our entire discussion. God's justice is so perfect that you are judged based on the actions you actually perform, not just on His foreknowledge of what you were going to do.
So what's the end game here? What's the ultimate point of all this? Well, it all leads to the final accounting on the Day of Judgment, and it shows us why that day is so profoundly and perfectly just.
Take a look at this verse. It's a perfect example of this in action. Notice the sequence. First, He knew what was in their hearts. That's the eternal knowledge. The reward, the tranquility, and the conquest came after that inner state was shown through their actions, creating the knowledge of reality.
See, this whole process of turning knowledge into reality is about creating the official record. It establishes the undeniable proof, the evidence of our lives, for or against us. That way, on the Day of Judgment, there are no what-ifs, no but I would have done better.
Justice won't just be done, it will be seen to be done, with absolutely no room for argument.
And that really brings us to a final, powerful thought to leave you with. When we read a verse about God testing us until we know, maybe we shouldn't see it as a sign of God needing information. Maybe we should see it as the ultimate sign of His perfect fairness, a system so just that it demands we have the freedom to act, to create the very evidence by which we'll be judged. It's a test, not for His sake, but for ours.